YouTube. Just finishing up weighing my trailer from getting loaded here. Currently in Remington, Indiana. Get my text-to-speech program up and running here. All right, should be connected. Get the volume set here. All right, let's go ahead and get on the road. If you're just joining in, my name's Johnny Dangerously. I'm an over-the-road truck driver in the United States. I've been driving truck for almost 20 years. If you haven't already, please make sure you hit that subscribe button. I do try to come live 3 to 4 times a week. All right, get turned around here. I do post a lot of other short videos, long videos, as interesting stuff happens out here. Gonna head back out to the highway. Gonna get on Interstate 65 heading southbound.
Turn left.
Currently near Remington, Indiana right now. On my way to Dayton, Ohio. Gonna try to run with you guys all the way over to the Ohio line. It's been a while since I've been through I-70 in between Indianapolis and Columbus. Oh, I should have went out the other way.
Then turn left.
Oh well. So hopefully I'll be able to keep you guys with me through there. They did have a couple weeks ago, you know, that stretch of highway is historically miserable. And some of the worst highway in the entire country.
24 east.
But they had it washed out with the flooding a couple weeks ago. Literally had Interstate 70 westbound completely shut down in between the Ohio line and Indianapolis there. That's my CB. I'm throwing some feedback. All right, I think we can get out of here now. I don't know what the hell that car is doing. If you want to play chicken, I guarantee you won't win. Jesus. People should
right on ramp to I-65 south.
People should try to get a driver's license at some point in their adult life. That's all I'll say about that. All right, we're going to jump on 65, heading south here. So I do have a text-to-speech program if it is working properly, which sometimes it does not. It should verbalize all of your comments, play it through my truck speakers, and I can literally have conversations going down the highway. So super cool. So in Remington, Indiana right now, it's going to be the 201 mile marker is where we're getting on at. Just a little bit north of Lafayette, Indiana right now. When we get to Indy, I'm not sure if I'm going to run through downtown or take 465 around. I'm just going to kind of make that decision as I get closer. So I just started this new job a couple weeks ago. I had a month off in between jobs, so it was nice. Kind of felt like I was on summer break and school, being a kid again and everything, so it was a lot of fun. Now it's back to the real world. So after this trip, I'll be heading to South Carolina, so I don't often know a day or two before where I'm going to be heading, but they sent me a whole bunch of plans and loads all at the same time yesterday. So I should be back on tomorrow, hopefully earlier in the AM. We'll see how that goes. It's currently almost 10 a.m. Central Daylight Time. It's where I'm at now. I'll be delivering in the Eastern Time Zone. So the cool part about this new job is I'll be running all 48 states again. I had just been running the eastern half of the country, which it gets, I get a little bored running the same areas all the time. So definitely looking forward to getting back out west again. It's been a good number of years since I've been out that way. So got to go near Columbus, Ohio to pick the one up on going to South Carolina, and crazy floods all out through here. So I'm hoping I don't get jammed up. I know Interstate 70 and I think it was east of Columbus yesterday, completely flooded, completely shut down, I think both directions. So I won't be quite going that far, but this rain that we've been getting in the Midwest this summer is just absolutely crazy. I remember a few years back when you get rain like this, it caught like a once in 100-year storm, once in 1,000-year storm. It's happening so frequently now, they just call it a Tuesday. All right, gotta fetch a pack of cigarettes here. All right, got a vehicle on the shoulder up here. It's like a big truck. I don't know if I'll be able to get over or not. Might have some room to squeeze in when this car passes. There we go. Of course, the car behind this car guns it, so it up, but I don't think so, pal. All right, well, I think I'm having signal issues already. This is pretty ridiculous. Hopefully, I don't have any issues, but who knows? Pay a lot of money to this huge data package to be able to do this, and absolutely horrible quality footage. I got a huge line of traffic in my left mirror. So we'll be picking up a third lane as we get closer to Lafayette there. I'll have it for a few miles. Hopefully that'll thin some traffic out a bit, but as we get closer to Indy, it's just going to get more and more packed. And it's 10 in the morning here. It'll be 11 in a few minutes once we cross. We might already be in the Eastern Time Zone. Yeah, we are in Eastern, so it's 11 o'clock here right now. Not peak hours, and the highways are still jam-packed. Got a semi truck coming around on the left. Got a guy going 2 miles an hour slower than me in front of me. That's going to take me literally 5 to 10 minutes just to be able to get in the left lane. Not a big fan of cutting cars off to get over. Try to let everybody pass through. Wait my turn, so to speak. But if there's a break in traffic, I won't hesitate to take it. That beeping you're hearing is my distance warning beep going off. Yep, it is going to take forever to get in this left lane to pass this guy. I probably should have gone over there. Got a semi truck behind me trying to get left too, so I'll probably end up having to wait for him.
Hello, bro.
Hey Zeus, what's up, buddy? Welcome to the live stream. Yeah. Well, see what this construction is up here. Maybe that'll give me a chance to get over. Another minute or so here.
Jesus Bond 007 says the image looks distorted.
Yeah, I don't know why certain areas the quality of the stream, it should be better than that right here, but hopefully it'll get better as the live stream continues. All right, this guy in front of me is going 70 miles an hour, so. Well, wonder why everybody's getting left up here. Something on the shoulder. And that guy in the right lane in front of me might have just slowed down when he got over in the right lane. See if he's still going 70 or not. He's going 67 now. Ugh. I got 68 miles an hour on the cruise control, but I can't step on the fuel or it puts me back down to 65 miles an hour. And my active cruise control won't let me get that close with the traffic in front of me going slower. So, first world problems. I was gonna have to deal with going 67 miles an hour. Unless I'm gonna spend 30 minutes in the left lane to pass this guy, which I don't. Hopefully, the closer I get to Indianapolis, the quality of the stream will improve. It could get worse before it gets better. I'm not able to...
Phil Goodyear 1513 says peace and profits from Northern California.
What's up, Northern California? Welcome to the live stream, Phil. But it's been a lot of years since I've been out that way. Can't wait to make it back out there, so. So if you're just joining in, currently heading Interstate 65 southbound, near Lafayette, Indiana now. We're gonna go down through or around Indianapolis. Gonna make a delivery near Dayton, Ohio this afternoon.
Phil Goodyear 1513 says continued success. Brother, keep grinding and shining.
Thanks, bro. Appreciate it, man. Same to you. Right back at you. When I'm done in Dayton, Ohio, I get to go pick a load up and go to South Carolina. I have to deliver that tomorrow evening, so not that big of a run. It's like 480 miles from where I'm picking it up from to make the delivery on that one, but get paid by the mile, so more miles, more money.
13 says I was attacked by a raccoon last night.
Well, that's not good. Hopefully, you were able to keep that raccoon to take for rabies testing or something, so. Brutal. I have a raccoon story, but I'm not going to tell it right now. So, back in, early to mid-July, I was off for a month in between jobs. And
Year 1513 says I have the rabies, but I think I gave it to him.
That's hilarious. Yeah, I was had a groundhog issue back in July and ended up trapping them. I was going to shoot them if I had a shot, but they would run off scared anytime I was sitting out waiting for them. So if I could trap them, I was going to trap them and release them 5 miles down the road, or if they're in the yard, I was just going to shoot them. So I ended up trapping. Ended up being 3 of them altogether. So I put some videos up of that stuff. Then a raccoon showed up after the groundhogs, and that's all I'm going to say on that one. I did not trap the raccoon, if you can read between the lines. Oh man, so 65 heading southbound right now. Gonna be coming through Lafayette, Indiana momentarily. Got 3 lanes now to work with. Hopefully that'll thin some of this traffic out. If you're just joining in, please make sure you hit that subscribe button. I do come on usually at least 3 or 4 times a week, more if I can, doing the live streams. Do post a lot of other short videos, long videos, as interesting stuff happens out here. I do have a text-to-speech program that you can verbalize your comments through my tractor speakers, so I can chat with you going down the highway, which is super cool. Love doing that. Should hopefully be back on again another live stream. I don't really know far in advance when I'm going to be doing a live stream, so if you hit the subscribe button, you'll be able to see when I'm live. Just a lot of things need to fall in place to
Phil Goodyear 15
me be able to do this.
Says I hit the like so much it's filled a restraining order.
Huh. Good stuff. And it's probably going to be pretty busy from Lafayette all the way down to Indy. Interstate 70 in between Indianapolis and the Ohio line. They got a 27-mile construction zone there right now. I've been there in a good month and a half, so I'll be curious to see how much they've accomplished in that time span. It did get washed out a couple weeks ago with all the rain and the floods, and they had 70 westbound completely shut down. There was like 10 feet of the entire interstate caved in. The ground underneath it got washed out. Looks like they had it fixed in a few days, but I'm going to try to keep you guys on the live stream going through that section. But it just really depends on how well my battery holds up on the camera here. So the third lane, having 3 lanes here, kind of thinned the traffic out quite a bit for the time being. But as soon as it goes back down to 2 lanes, it's going to be miserable again, probably all the way down to Indianapolis. Probably going to take 465 around.
Phil Goodyear 1513 says, have you considered a new broadcasting career?
Not really. I like driving, being out here. If I could spin the truck driving into some kind of broadcast stuff, I'd take a look at some of the stuff like that. But I really like driving truck, so. So it's kind of just all about fun and adventure for me. So I don't need to make millions and millions of dollars to be happy and have that fun and adventure and get along and go about my day, my life, all that stuff. So now I'm not saying making some millions would be bad, but I'm just not. I'm more focused on fun and adventure than I am on money, so I do pretty well, have a lot of fun, so if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Plus, I like traveling around to all these different places, getting to see the entire country, meet the people I do along the way. It's awesome, it really is, so. I was recently thinking about how many people I meet in a day, a week, or a month, where it's just a completely random chance encounter, and I'll literally outside of a 30-second or a minute conversation or a cashier to cash register, that literally I'll never see that person ever again, ever. And how many types of encounters there are like that in what I do for work. Yeah, it's kind of weird to think about it that way, but I had that thought, so. All right, car, you got to hit your gas here. I got a truck coming up on my left. I'm not going to get over, not going to slow down. There you go. Those on-ramps are to get up to highway speeds and then merge in. It's not to give me time to get out of your way. Hit your gas or eat some grass. I do get over when I can, especially in like rush hour types of situations, but you know, I probably go past 150 or 200 exits a day. It's an incredible amount of risk for me to change lanes that often or at all. You know, the best way to avoid a lane change accident is just don't change lanes. So, and the speed limit for cars is 5 miles an hour faster than it is for trucks here too. 65 for cars, 60 for big trucks. So no excuse not to be at the highway speed and merge on at that highway speed here. So sorry, rant over, but it needed to be said. Pretty heavy right now in my trailer. I forgot to look at my gross, but I got about 44,000 pounds in the trailer, so I'm probably grossing right around 77,000 or so. I did weigh it to make sure the axles were right, so all good there, but that little hill there slowed me down a bunch. Just a few short miles left with the 3 lanes
Bill
here.
Goodyear 1513 says to anyone new, barbecue that like button. Bill Goodyear 1513 says to anyone new, barbecue that like button.
Aha, thanks. Thanks, Phil. Appreciate it, man. So we're gonna lose a 3rd lane here. I'm sad about that. So wish there was 3 lanes all the way up and down. It'll be another 20-some miles, 2 lanes on the southbound side, a few miles here. Man, I can't believe summer is almost over. Couple weeks left of until Labor Day, so fall is my favorite time of year, but I'm not a big fan of what comes after that. So looks like winter should be pretty decent for most of the country as far as snow and wintry weather goes. Looks like the Southwest, Colorado, Arizona, New Mexico, and those areas are going to get hammered pretty bad, more so than usual. The north should be what's going on here. Well, that's pretty stupid, Al. No signals, it jumps across lanes. Stupid, stupid, stupid. But yeah, it looks like the north, like Minnesota and all that, are calling. Well, just because of the news. There we go. Got Indiana State in the middle there. Looking at the northbound side. I just put a video up yesterday. Put the cell phone version up.
13 says whatever you got going. Don. Get there safe. Todd. The awesome window.
Yep, definitely. Always, man. Got to keep your eyes open. Really got to drive defensively out here. Anything. I don't care how good of a driver you are. It could all go wrong in a hot second, so. Especially with everybody texting and using their cell phones while they're driving nowadays. That's probably almost as dangerous, if not as dangerous, as drunk drivers and everything, and driving impaired. Well, there goes that left lane. Let's see how long it takes to get devoured by traffic here. Speed limit's going to jump back up in half a mile here, quarter mile or so. Getting passed by a train truck. That's not a usual happening. These trucks usually go 45 miles an hour. It's a smaller train truck than the ones that usually go slow. Let this guy around me. I'm probably just gonna have to turn around and pass him again now. Yeah, way to leave a distance there, dickweed. Now, of course, he's going 66 miles an hour, and I won't be able to pass him, so. Well, let my active cruise control ride it out here. Oh, man. Look at that dump truck in front of me. He's got no tarp over the gravel he's hauling. I don't know. I don't think it's like a legal requirement to do it in Indiana. I don't know why it wouldn't be, but and now free broken windshields coming up on Interstate 65 southbound. I just put some video up yesterday. I put the cell phone version formatted size up earlier. We're in a construction zone in Indiana where a flatbed was zooming through there, and state cop tried pulled him over, and the driver didn't see him for a few miles. So not good to get a speeding ticket in a commercial vehicle in a semi truck. There's a separate point system for truck drivers, and that will get you the high score right out of the gate. So Indiana playing around lately. They're pulling a lot of trucks over, pulling a lot of Amazon Primes and stuff like that over, looking for the non-domiciled fake CDL drivers. A lot of legal drivers that don't know how to drive trucks on the road right now. As a matter of fact, interstates me to the Ohio line. Just depends on if the 2 hours. This one will be stretched to last that long. So we'll see if that happens or not. That section of Interstate 70, like the first miles, well, pretty much the whole section from Indy to the Ohio line is just horrible shape. The last 26 miles prior to the Ohio line is like, or 27 miles is all construction now. Has been for a couple years, will be for the next few years. They're adding a third lane in there. They're going to start tolling, or they want to start tolling the entirety of Interstate 70 from the Ohio line all the way to the Illinois line in 2029. So I'm hoping they do not get approval for that. That'll be absolutely devastating for people that live in Indiana, and just going to make prices go through the roof. So part of that Interstate 70 actually got washed out a couple weeks ago, week and a half ago or so, on the westbound side in Indiana with all the flooding. So here's some pictures you can Google of it, like a 10-foot section of it completely caved in. I think they got it repaired already, but we're gonna find out. It's been a good month and a half since I drove that stretch, so curious to see what progress they've made on the construction down there. Well, grab a quick snack here. Tried waterboarding myself with a sip of coffee there. Oh. All right, gonna be picking up the third lane again here in a couple miles. Well, it wasn't that busy. It wasn't as busy as I thought it was going to be. You can see all the traffic heading northbound right now. They just went down to 2 lanes a couple miles ago on the other side of the highway there. All right, that sound you're hearing is my lane departure warning. So riding a little too close to the fog line to the right there, and it's trying to get my attention. It's, I guess, supposed to prevent people that are falling asleep at the wheel from crashing or something. Now the intermodal in front of me is going 57 miles an hour. Traffic's backing up on the northbound side on the other side of the highway there. There's that third lane. I got a car coming around me, then I'm going to get around this.
See that black smoke again, brother. What is it? It looks like just because we lose the lane, they can't figure out how to do it.
That's some CB chatter for you coming from the other side of the highway.
Four-wheelers down that keep flying up there. Yeah, I'm in the wrong lane to run back. In the wrong lane. In the run block here. They come in.
So it'll be 3 lanes now all the way down to looping around Indy. So I am going to take 865 east to 465 around the north side to join Interstate 70. So kind of curious to see how they're coming along with the construction. That like chatter on the CB. You're going from 3 lanes down to 2. They might close one of those lanes a little earlier than for construction. Basically just a bunch of 4-wheelers getting in the way. So it's 55 when flashing. It's not flashing, but the technology in this truck's got scanners and the computer and AI and everything, so it's already reading as if it's a 65 mile an hour speed limit. I'm not going to go 55. Well, but I'm curious to see the construction on 465 across the north side there. That's been torn up for years too. It seemed like a month and a half ago they were getting ready to be wrapping up some of it, but who knows. So I've had the where 69 North joins up around 465 on the north side all torn up for the longest time. So you're finally getting around this crane truck that I should have just gunned it when I was in the right lane and not let him in front of me. I'm going to have to get better with that. And it was back around Lafayette. Just the way I got 65 miles an hour on my pedal, but I got 68 if I put the cruise on. But the active cruise control slows me down before I can get close to a truck that's going like 64, 65. So the second I put it back on the pedal, it drops me back down to 65. So, but because we have 3 lanes, I'm able to get around them and not hold anyone up. So that's why I didn't attempt it before. I'm not gonna block that left lane for 3 or 4 minutes just to get around them. So a lot of drivers will. I try not to do that. Oh man. All right, we can get back over now. Probably just in time to get back over again. The sign said 865, 14 miles. So it's actually only 12 and a half. So kind of incredible. They're off by that much distance on their signage. Just the things I notice when I'm out here. Now, right, vehicle on the shoulder here. Change lanes for that. Looks like it's some highway crews out picking up trash alongside of the highway. That is some traffic on top of that bridge there. It'll take forever for those people to get back on the highway. A lot of construction at that exit there in Lebanon, Indiana. Building a big data center down there and a big Eli Lilly GLP-1 factory. So wow, look at all that traffic off to the right there. What the hell's going on with that? Holy smokes. Not sure why that many people are on that road to begin with. They must have a road closed up here or something. Wow. Glad I'm not there. Holy smokes, that's horrible. Wah, wah, wah. Well, all in all, pretty smooth ride down 65 so far. I was a little busy up around Lafayette, but pretty light to moderate south of there. Pretty light right now. It'll probably jam up a little in about 4 miles when 465 and 865 are coming into play here. All right, we're going to exit right in about 3 miles. Then I'm going to try to get ahead of the Schneider truck up here. Or maybe not. Got a lot of exits that enter the highway in the next couple miles here. One of them's like a half a mile before the exit to the right. I think it's very poorly constructed. Always creates bottlenecks down here during peak hours. So after this next on-ramp, I think I'm just going to get back over right. Here. This is likely to slow the right lane down. Well, not how I was imagining getting in front of Schneider, but it'll work. Hopefully this car will speed up and I'll get in behind him, but maybe not. 60 mile an hour speed limit for trucks coming up here. Drop speed. Now the car apparently wants to slow down with me, so they're exiting the highway.
Take exit 129 high, 865 east.
Yeah. Jesus. So I don't need that far right lane coming up here. I can exit to the right in this lane, but if it's open, I'll go ahead and get in that right lane. Alright, this car might get a left here. Yeah, I'll go ahead and get over. Well, nope, there's something in that right lane up there, so I'm gonna stay put.
0.3 miles ahead. Take exit 129 high, 865 east. Take exit 129 high, 865
Now I'll get over. All right, let's go around the north side of Indy. What could go wrong? So the cool thing about 465 is I think it was last July They raised the speed limit around the loop for most of the loop to 65 miles an hour instead of 55. So the section we're going to be going through does have some 55 mile an hours and 45 mile an hours because of the construction going on. But all right, let's see. Can we get over here? Yeah, we'll get over.
3.3 miles ahead. Take I-4.
All right, get back over. So I always try to move for cars that are on the shoulder, and especially if construction vehicles and police are on the shoulder. But it's not just for me. It's so the traffic behind me can see that there's a hazard up ahead. I drive a 53-foot dry van, a box trailer, and oftentimes you'll have cars tailgating me, and if they're riding close to that line, they're not going to see any car on that shoulder until it's too late. So I try to open, part of the reason to get over is to open up a sight vision for the people behind me to give them time to get over, at least see what's going on the shoulder ahead of them. So
2 miles ahead. Take I-465 east.
if you're just joining in, my name's Johnny Dangerously. I'm an over-the-road truck driver in the United States. Been driving truck for almost 20 years, so just on here sharing what it's like driving truck and some of the sights and views I get to see. I've got an arrow pointing us left here. If you haven't already, please make sure you hit that subscribe button. I do try to come on live 3 to 4 times a week, more if I can. Should be on again tomorrow morning. I usually don't get not able to give much notice before I do it. So hit that subscribe button. You should be able to get an alert when I do go live and everything. I do put a lot of other videos, short videos, long videos up as interesting stuff happens out here. Oh, you know what? I'm going to stay left because we're going to lose that right lane when the 465s split apart here.
0.3 miles ahead. Take I-465 east.
55 mile an hour. Got to drop a couple miles an hour here.
Take I-465 east.
I do have a text-to-speech program, so when you guys comment, when it's working properly, it will play it through my truck speaker, so I can hear and chat with y'all going down the road. Hopefully my signal's holding up pretty good. A lot of times it is pretty crappy, so I heard it was pretty crappy earlier from viewers, so. Got a car coming around me on the right here. Expect the expected, that's what they say. Ohio plates on that too, they're not even from here. So once we crest this, I'll attempt to get one lane over to the right. Hey, it looks like usually it takes me a while to do this, but nice. Hopefully that's a good sign for the things to come. I'll go ahead and move one more to the right. All right, 55 through this section of 465. Pretty much this north, west, northeast section is like the only 55 mile an hour section. The rest is either 65 all the way around or, digital sign, variable speed limit, depending on time of the day and how much traffic and everything. So. About 17 miles till we join up with Interstate 70. I'll head east on it. I'm going to try to keep you guys on here with me to the Ohio line, just past the Ohio line. See if my battery cooperates with me here. It's a little longer than I usually run the live streams. I'm not even sure how long I've been on so far. Probably an hour and a half-ish or so. Well, I see some flashing lights. That's going to be a good mile and a half up there. So I got some construction or something going on there. Curious to see if they've wrapped up any of the construction on this section in the last month and a half or so. Not very optimistic about it. No, right. Something on the right shoulder. That's those flashing lights I saw from way back there. Looks like maybe a mobile repair. Changing a tire or something. Yeah, well, Camaro behind me better get over because I'm not going to wait. I don't know if that's a litter crew still or what's going on. I don't wait until I'm right up on something to get over. I try to get over with a decent amount of space before I reach the hazard. So that's the sound it makes when it thinks there's a car next to me. It was when I put my signal on, it picked up that car in front of me, even though it was already past me. It's a bit annoying, but I'm sure it'll come in handy at some point. All right, well, looks like still the road work in the usual spots. 45-mile-an-hour speed limit for probably at least 4 or 5 miles here. Boo. Now, most of the traffic through here is going to go 60 or 70 miles an hour anyways. Indiana does use speeding ticket enforcement, photo enforcement in their construction zones. So if you get busted by one of those, personally, I would never pay one of those ever. Literally, I'm not going to be able to get over here. Maybe I will. Let's try. That's a little close to the line. Open up space for the people behind me to see what's going on. Get back over. Mission accomplished. Twelve and a half miles to Interstate 70. Oh, man. Pretty sure it's 55 right through here, but there's not been any speed limit signs showing it, and well, there's one coming up here. So my truck scanner won't pick that up until it sees that 55 mile an hour sign. Pain in the ass. All right, let's increase speed. And it's going to drop back to 45 in another less than a mile, probably. Pretty ridiculous. So most of these trucks, especially bigger fleet trucks, do have AI, radar, cameras, and stuff like that in them that will pick up the speed limit. Companies over speeds are set at 5 miles an hour over. Even a stop sign, if you don't make a full and complete stop, you get dinged for it. You know, they have this driver eye or safety score AI type of thing. And, you know, the AI gets a lot of it wrong, but you get dinged for it anyways, even though the AI is not very intelligent. So, if you're wondering why you see trucks making full and complete stops at stop signs, going the actual construction speed limit in a 45 mile an hour zone type of stuff, it's mainly because of that, you know, the management that's taking place with big companies and their drivers with all this camera technology, AI technology. It obviously will make things safer, just aggravating to have to deal with it if you're the driver having to deal with it, truck driver. All right, well, maybe they cleaned some of this up in the last month and a half here. See, I think we got Interstate 69 coming up here. Well, that's a pretty big backup on the westbound side over there for that exit. Ramp to 69 North will be closed Saturday 9 p.m. to Monday 6 a.m. Should not be affected by that. Right, so see if they've wrapped up any of this construction here. I mean, if they're going to shut 69 North down for the weekend, there's probably still some stuff going on here. Well, am I going to need one lane to the left or what? And they do reconfigure these construction zones as needed, so. Well, I'm saying 69 north here. I'm going to get over one just in case. This is an exit only here. At one point, it was just 2 lanes to stay on 465.
Says you don't own a 88 caliber, do you?
An 88 caliber. Not sure what you're asking there, Keith. Well, we got a 55-mile-an-hour speed limit through here, which is awesome. This used to be 45 for a several-mile stretch. So that is good news. It's back up to 55. 6 miles from Interstate 70 right now. We're going to be getting off on that and run it over to Ohio. I'm going to go ahead and get over in one lane to the right. This pickup truck probably wants over. We're going to hold that up for a second. There we go. Well, that guy's flying.
Keith Krejci says from the movie Johnny Dangerously with Michael Keaton.
Oh yeah, it's a great movie. I've been trying to find it. I haven't actually watched that since I was a kid. You can't find that on streaming anywhere. So I love that movie. That's not really why I'm called Johnny Dangerously, but I got you now. Five miles, 5 minutes to Interstate 70. Yeehaw. I'm going to try to keep you guys with me till we cross the Ohio line. That's the infamous Indiana Interstate 70 stretch that it's like driving in a third world country. So I'm curious to see. I haven't been out that way in about a month and a half. Curious to see if they've cleaned up or made any progress on the 27-mile construction zone. The last 27 miles of Indiana before you get to Ohio, and then the first 27 heading westbound is all under construction now through Richmond, Indiana there. So a couple weeks ago, the flooding took out Interstate 70 westbound, like shut it completely down. It washed out about a 10-foot section of it. There's some pictures online, and I screenshot it, sent it to a buddy of mine. He's like, it looks the same as it always does. Yeah, like a 5-foot hole and 10-foot section of it pretty much washed out underneath it. All the info I have now says it was repaired within a few days of that happening and is open, but hopefully I'll still be streaming when we go past it, and we'll see what it looks like out that way. So that's about from 465 on 70 to the Ohio line is about 65, 66 miles or so. 55-mile-an-hour construction speed limit for 27 miles of that. And then even the first, 40 miles before you hit that 27-mile stretch is sporadically under construction along the way. I mean, it's just a horrible stretch of highway as far as potholes, maintenance, and drivability goes. So, but Indiana wants to make I-70 a toll road the entire way through Indiana by 2029 or something. So they're trying to get a third lane paved and get it up in good enough shape to be able to charge for that, I suppose. So hopefully the feds don't approve them to toll that. That's just going to be ridiculous. I mean, they've literally done very little construction over the years, pretty much in the entire state of Indiana, just in deplorable conditions. I mean, they should reduce Indiana to a territory and give Puerto Rico a shot at statehood. That's just how badly managed Indiana's been over the years. So I've heard horror stories about streets being plowed in Indianapolis in the wintertime. They don't even have like state or city plows or whatever. It's just people that own pickup trucks with snow plows getting contracts to clear the roads. And like after a major snowstorm, you're trapped in your own driveway and can't go anywhere for weeks because it takes that long to plow the snow off city streets and everything. So I have a lot of friends in Indiana, and they deserve better than that. So all right, coming up on the exit for 70 East in about a mile here. 65-mile-an-hour speed limit right now. Yeehaw.
Exit 44B.
Well, this guy's not going 65 up here. 54. There's a billboard for Kyle Busch there. Right, see you next time, 465. Oh, we got some plywood in the road there. Particle board. You don't ever want to swerve when there's something in the road. If you can brake and slow down, that's fine, but sometimes you just gotta hit some shit. I hit that shit. So I do run this co-pilot navigation system. That's pretty cool. It's got active traffic right on the navigation map. It's got a little sidebar off to the right of it showing the next 60 miles. Like, you know, like if it's completely clear, it's all green. If there's accidents or delays, it'll show up as red and yellow. So you know, it's very helpful to be able to see if I need to detour, reroute, or something like that. And I have good information right at the tip of my eyes. All right, getting on Interstate 70 right now. Got to go make a delivery just outside of Dayton, Ohio this afternoon. I'm going to drive 30 miles down the road. Pick up my next trip that's going to South Carolina. I will be trying to get back on hopefully a little bit earlier tomorrow morning with the live stream. So if you haven't already, please make sure you hit that subscribe button. All right. So there's going to be sporadic construction zones over the next 40 miles. And then a big 27-mile construction zone. And even the road that's not under construction up here probably needs to be for the most part. So just an absolute dreaded section of highway to drive a semi-truck through. So Oh my goodness, man. Yeah, it's going to be a backbreaker going through here. Hopefully my signal's holding up all right. It was a little choppy earlier. Not sure if it ever got better or not. Gonna try to ride with you guys to the Ohio line. See if we'll be able to see the section of I-70 on the westbound side. As we get closer to that line that was washed out a couple weeks ago, about a week and a half ago, that had Interstate 70 completely shut down on the westbound side for, I think it was a few days. Happy to see they got it fixed. I heard they got it fixed within a few days, or we're intending to have it fixed in a few days. So hopefully that was the case, and it's flowing smoother through there right now. That beep is my navigation telling me I'm over speed right now, but the navigation was saying it was 55 mile an hour speed limit. It was not. It's 65 here. Well, I got that rest area open in 14 miles. That's good. I might have to stop off and use the restroom there. Possible I might wrap the live stream up there too. We'll see. See how it goes. I like to keep it running. Not sure where my battery's at. If the battery dies while I'm doing one of these and I can't make it public afterwards, it'll never upload and process. So that's pretty much the only factor we could be dealing with, keeping you guys with me to the Ohio line today. So I can't have it on a charger going down the highway because my microwave or my microphone is plugged into the USB-C port. If I stop, maybe I can put it on a charger for a few minutes. Play it by ear, see what happens. Big bump coming up here. God damn it. Yeah, this stretch of highway just absolutely destroys my back. I've probably even gotten some minor concussions from it. Previous trips through here. Now there was well, it's past the 104. Past the 104, that was a decent sized construction zone through that section. So we'll see if they got it finished up yet or not. Well, we're gonna have to get over in the one lane to the left here, more than likely. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that now while it's clear. Well, this guy. Guy's only going 64 miles an hour in front of me and just tying up that lane. Hopefully I get back over right in front of this truck that's getting on. Don't think I'm going to be able to get right yet. Might have to pass this guy on the left. Oh, there we go. Got it. I can't use my cruise control. Extra miles. Damn it. Now I got somebody on the right here. I'm not. I should probably get over so the truck behind me can see it. He's far enough over anyways. You gotta really watch out. Well, this guy's getting back on. Son of a bitch. I was just gonna say, you gotta watch out. Them guys getting back on the highway too, sometimes it's hard to tell when they're rolling. He's probably not going to go more than 64, 65. He's at 59 miles an hour now. 61, 63, 4. Come on, buddy, go 68. 68, there he is. I only got 65 miles an hour on my. I had to have the cruise control set to go any faster than that. Go up to 68 miles an hour. But I got the active cruise control, so if I put my foot back down on the pedal while I have the cruise set to 68, it dumps it back down to 65. Yeah, look at that idiot right there in the middle lane. Yeah, maybe get out of the fucking way, asshole. I feel like he just sped up a bit. Wow, the guy, that's an Amazon delivery vehicle in front of me, was just going 78 miles an hour. I'm about to get on the radio if this guy speeds up and I can't get over. Trash this piece of shit. So if this construction zone is still set up ahead here, we're going to lose one of these lanes. I think that's going to be the case. Trucks use left lane. The guy that I just passed, the semi truck in that left lane, just sped up. I'm going to get over now. It says trucks use left lane. I'm going to get over now, and he's going to have to deal with me. Road construction 2 miles ahead, so they still have this construction zone here. There's going to be a few of these, and then we're going to run into that 27-mile construction zone. Got a truck on the shoulder, on the right shoulder, coming up here. Probably going to be losing one of these lanes. Not sure which one yet. Probably the right lane. 55 miles an hour coming up here for the speed limit. Let's go ahead and coast down right now. And that rest area is coming up in a few miles. I'm going to go ahead and pull into there. Check my battery out, maybe put it on the charger for a few minutes so I go use the restroom. So. Left lane closed ahead. I'm going to get right because got this rest area coming up here. So. That sound is either me getting a message or losing signal on my ELD tablet. ELD is the electronic logging device. It's where my logbook, electronic logbook, and everything's at. Navigation, trip info, load info, all that good stuff. So that rest area sign about 14 miles ago said there was a bunch of spots open in here, though that rest area had been closed. So I'm hoping it's open again, but I am in Indiana, and just because it said spots were available doesn't necessarily mean it's not closed. So it's always frustrating when the rest areas are closed because, you know, a lot of drivers, truck drivers, plan on that to stop to use the restroom and this and that, and then they end up getting caught off guard with it being closed. They're, you know, we don't stop because we have to go a little bit. We stop because we gotta go. So it's a mile or two until we run into that here. When I do get parked in there, I'm going to mute the microphone. I got to check a couple things, use the restroom, and then I'll be back out. I'm going to throw the charger on for a few minutes while I do all that. So, all right, it's not saying the rest area is closed, so maybe we're in good shape for that. 2 miles. Try not to get off the highway for a truck stop to use the restroom and everything. It's just a horrible time drain getting off, back on, pulled in there. Now I really try to make good use. I'm allowed to work 70 hours in an 8-day period. So I don't like wasting 10 or 15 minutes of that every time I need to use the restroom. That's why rest areas are a lot more convenient. All right, here's this rest area. Yeehaw.
right on Greenfield Rest Area. Point 3 miles ahead, straight on ramp to I-70 East.
All right, I'm going to mute this. I'm going to switch microphones out. Be back with y'all in 5 to 10. All right, almost ready to get back on the road here. Try to get a little bit of here. Doesn't be charging. Not sure why. Well, that's a pain in the ass. Well, that's why it's not even plugged in. All right, gonna let this phone charge for a couple minutes, check a couple things on my phone, and we'll hit the road again. I get the fresh microphone plugged in after I get a little bit of charge on it here. Try to get you past the Ohio line with me. Well, that's one of mine. There we go. Check this message here. All right, almost ready to get out of here. Let's see if we got more of a charge on here. Yeah, not really. Damn it. All right, get my microphone plugged back in here. Get the text to speech fired back up. All right, should be good to roll here. Let's get you guys across the Ohio line. Warmed up a little bit out here. I'm definitely in the 80s right now.
Straight on ramp to I-70 East.
All right, getting back on Interstate 70 heading eastbound.
Miles ahead. Take exit 33A to I-75 South.
So construction zone right now, 55-mile-an-hour speed limit. It's going to be trucks left lane only. Going to go ahead and get over now that I'm up to speed. If you're just joining in, my name's Johnny Dangerously, over-the-road truck driver in the United States. Been driving for almost 20 years now. Absolutely love what I do. Currently heading Interstate 70 eastbound for delivery just outside of Dayton, Ohio. Massive amounts of construction coming up before we hit the Ohio line. I'm going to try to keep you guys with me till we go across the Ohio line. We're going to have a way station to deal with, and it does have pre-pass. I am heavy. I am legal. Not even sure if it'll be open by the time I get down there. All right, construction's over in a second. No traffic. We'll merge over. And then we'll increase the speed. 27-mile construction zone, right around the 140-mile marker or so, or 130-mile marker, sorry. If you're just joining in, please make sure you hit that subscribe button. Do come on here 3 to 4 times a week, at least, usually, with live streams, and should be doing another one tomorrow morning. Not entirely sure what time yet. I usually like to do these 3, 4, 5 a.m., but I haven't been able to have a long driver in front of me at that hour all week this.
Queensgate 1171 says back on the road.
Yes, I am. Happy to be so, too. All right, let's move over for this vehicle on the shoulder here. Yeah, it was a fun month off of work, but now it's back to reality, back to the real world. Going to be running all 48 states with this job. So
1171 says, are you in Missouri?
I'm not. I'm actually in Indiana right now, in between Indianapolis and the Ohio line on Interstate 70. So I got a big 27-mile construction zone coming up here. It's the infamous Ohio-Indiana line stretch that everybody always complains about because the roads are so horrible through there. It's been a good month and a half since I've been across this stretch, so kind of curious to see if they've made any progress on it. I do know the westbound side was completely shut down. It was about a week and a half ago. With all the rain they got, it washed out a section of Interstate 70 heading westbound. So I had read they were trying to get it open within a few days. It should be open when I go through there in a little bit here, but we'll see. So I saw a picture of it. It was like a 10-foot section completely caved in by about 5 feet. The road, the dirt underneath the highway got washed out. So you've got some heavy rain down where you're at, right? Southern Kentucky, I think it's been getting pretty much rained out down there the past couple weeks.
Queensgate 1171 says, yeah, rain a lot.
Columbus, Ohio is pretty messed up right now too. Like to have Interstate 70 shut down in both directions near Buckeye Lake. Like
Queensgate 1171 says too much.
Yeah, it is. It's been ridiculous this summer. I think the Interstate 70 in Ohio near Columbus there, that Buckeye Lake, Ohio, is under 20 feet of water right now. So we're supposed to crest this morning. It'll probably take a couple days for it to recede, but Indiana's still in bad shape right now in a lot of places. They were waiting for the Wabash River
Queensgate 1171
to crest this morning.
To fast.
Yep. All right, we're gonna move over for this truck getting on here. Oh man. Well, this truck and trailer I'm driving now seems to take the bumps a lot worse than my previous truck and trailers did. So not looking forward to seeing what that's like coming across this stretch of Interstate 70 here. I have a 2025 Freightliner Cascadia now. The truck I drove previously was a 2023, and it handled a lot better than this one does. I don't have an air ride suspension on the trailers here though. It's quite weird, and I think that's what's making it a more rough ride. That and being in Indiana. Oh my goodness.
Queensgate 1171 says, is that automatic?
It is an automatic. Yeah, just about every Freightliner Cascadia, and then, you know, like the fleet trucks that all these companies make, pretty much just come only with automatics now. I think you can get a standard, but you actually have to pay more to get a standard transmission truck, which is really weird because you usually have to pay more to get an automatic in like an automobile than you do for a standard, and it's like reversed in trucking now, so I don't actually mind driving the automatic. I mean, I couldn't even imagine going back to standard now that I've been driving an automatic so long, like through a rush hour scenario where I'm like upshifting and downshifting literally hundreds of times in like a 20-30 minute period and everything. So, but I'm probably burning a lot less calories now because of that. So, oh my goodness, now everything falling over in the truck at these bumpy roads. Oh. Oh man, got about 10 more miles before we start the 27-mile construction zone here.
Queen Pig 1171 says, are they still making newbies train with stick shift?
I'm not sure, actually. I'm pretty sure if you train on an automatic, your license will say automatic only. You are not allowed to drive a standard or stick shift semi truck if you train in an automatic. So I'm not sure what these truck driving schools are doing nowadays. Automatics are so... Oh my gosh, man. F word, F word, F word. Oh, that's horrible. I think it just took 2 years off my driving career right there. So if I was a truck driving school, I would actually train them in a standard. That way they can get the full license.
Queen Pig 1171 says, just like my school bus CDL.
So you're, they do that automatic only for those licenses as well? Oh my gosh. Not even in a construction zone yet, and I'm getting absolutely rocked right here.
Says only automatic.
Gotcha. Yeah, they've been doing that for, I want to say, close to at least a dozen years in semi trucks. So when you would go to Swift and take their truck driving school, like they would only train you on an automatic because they were one of the only companies that had automatic trucks, and they would actually try to like sandbag you with that automatic license so that you basically couldn't work anywhere else because of that. It's just, the tactics, I gotta get back left here, son of a gun. The tactics that some companies would use to try and harangue drivers to stay with them is insane, but having an automatic only license now is not as much of a hindrance as what it was like 10 or 12 or 15 years ago. Pretty much everything's automatic, and it's more. I mean, geez, oh man, can't even ride the right lane up here. So it's not as big of a deal now as what it used to be. But
Queen Pig 1171 says, yes, they do no dump trucks driving with sticks.
That you can for whatever license you're seeking. So if you can get the manual, take your truck in school, driving school in manual, and at least have that certification under your belt, definitely better to have than not to have, though. You probably never need it if you don't ever want to drive a stick. You'll probably never have to drive a stick shift out here nowadays. So it's been so long since I've driven manual. I can't even imagine what it would be and sound like jumping back into a standard transmission truck, grinding gears, stirring the soup. So I might have to get in the standard just to see what it's like. I at least let a buddy of mine drive his truck or something to see what it's like now after so many years of not driving stick shifts. So. And there's such a shortage of school bus drivers now.
Queen Pig 1171 says, maybe I will jump in one. I'm 62 now.
Oh, man. Yeah, I mean, I don't think age matters as far as getting qualifications and doing stuff. So I think it's cool trying new things, getting outside of your comfort zone with stuff like that. But like I was saying, with the shortage of school bus drivers now, I don't believe they'll ever go back to standard. If you're a school district and you have automatics, and then the school district next to you has standards, you're gonna definitely get more applicants if you're the automatic. The ones with the automatic license or school buses, transmissions. So look at this guy, 47 miles an hour. The fuck are you doing, dude? 46. Unbelievable. This guy didn't just get on the highway either. Probably one of those fake CDL non-domiciles they all talk about. Can't wait to get to see who this fucking asshole is. Now he hits his fucking gas. Sorry, I road rage sometimes. Actually, most of the time.
1171 says must be new.
I don't know what he is. Now he's speeding up. He was probably text messaging or dropped something. Fucking piece of shit. Fucking asshole. Sorry for the colorful language, but I try to be on my best behavior on here, but he's going 71 miles an hour now. I hope he gets off an exit I do. I'll punch him right in his fucking face.
Queensgate 1171 says at work we used to get 12 trucks a day and about 8 of those were foreigners.
Yeah, I have no problem with foreigners. As long as they got proper documents, they're qualified, have an actual real CDL. I got a truck behind me on the left, so I'm going to ride the line high. There we go. But yeah, if you're an illegal immigrant with the fake CDL, fake ID, yeah, get the fuck out of here. Can't read, write, or speak English, which, if you're an immigrant and you can't read, write, or speak English, I don't even care. But if you're going to drive a semi-truck, you need to know how to do that.
One says, yeah, that's true. I feel same way.
But yeah, I mean, truck driving, the trucks on the road has never been as unsafe as what they are nowadays. Now, they've taken a lot of these drivers off the road in the last 6 to 8 months, but there's still a lot of them out here. I'm glad something's being done about it, because nothing was being done about that for almost 10 years now. Look at highway fatalities from the last 15 years or so, trying to see where the increases in wrecks and deaths and stuff like that took place, when they took place. I haven't really viewed much of that and digested much of it, but I have collected all that data. I have it all screenshot and everything. So when I get a chance, I plan on doing a video on that and everything, just to show. I mean, I think highway fatalities due to tractor trailer related deaths have probably, I want to say, doubled in the last 15 years. But I'm not done analyzing those numbers or even going through all that info. So, but a lot of people are being injured and killed by these unlicensed illegal drivers. And nobody gave a shit about it for like more than a decade. Like, are you kidding me? It's ridiculous.
Queensgate 1171 says those people who can't read are endangering families on the road. Very dangerous.
Yeah, if you can't read, how do you know if you can fit under that bridge there? That's how you got these guys doing U-turns in the medians on the highways, because they have no idea. They don't have no clue where they're going, what they're doing. I had a friend of mine I'd made a Facebook post, and some woman I went to church with when I was a kid, she worked at a truck stop, and she said, you can't even believe how many people just come in and hand them a list, like a piece of paper with their truck info, name, mileage, and everything to get a pump, So the last 2 jobs I've had, that including the one I'm at now, like that's literally the first thing you do is take an English test, like day 1. So I've had to take an English test twice in the last 7 months now. Yeah, they English test everyone. English and comprehension, so. All right, here comes this big construction zone coming up in a couple miles. 26, 27 mile construction zone here. This is the infamous and dreaded section, and it'll take you to the Ohio-Indiana line. It's already, like the road we just drove the last 7 to 10 miles, not even under construction. It's been miserable stretch. Things in my truck are going flying as I'm hitting these bumps.
Gate 1171 says just like the idiot in Florida who made a U-turn and a van hit him, acted like it wasn't a big deal.
Yeah, that was literally the event. That was the beginning of the end for the non-domiciled fake CDL drivers. That was the incident that set off a firestorm in the national media. And so I had heard, I don't know if any of this is true. I've read a lot of stuff, and there's a lot of like non-reliable news sources and organizations out there now. So I guess when they arrested him, he was released on bond or whatever, and he had traveled all the way back to California, him and his buddy. He had a team driver, and we're getting ready to board a plane in California to leave the country, and immigration went in and arrested him. So not sure if that's all true or not, but these guys, what they will do when they kill someone, get arrested, they bond out, they leave the country, go get another identity, and come back over and do it all over again. Most of the companies that hire these guys are actually not even owned by American companies. They're owned overseas. Their logistics and dispatchers are in Honduras or Kazakhstan or not here. So they don't care. And most of their trucks are not insured. So when these families and people are getting murdered by these illegal drivers, like there's no filing a lawsuit. There's no, you're screwed. I mean, there's no recourse. These companies are outside the U.S. They're never going to show up for court. They're never going to pay any judgments. And yet, somehow, it's completely fine with our federal government that they're allowed to do that. That's insane. A lot of these companies, if they have 50 trucks, they will insure one truck and make it seem like all 50 trucks are insured, but they'll just insure the one truck long enough, and kind of switch the registration on that truck when one of their other trucks get in an accident, just committing insurance fraud, just fraud everywhere. So no trucks in the express lane that's in 3 miles, which would be the left lane. Why would you not want the trucks in the left lane? That way the people entering and exiting the highway don't have to deal with the truck traffic. I mean, Indiana is ass backwards on everything. I was in a construction zone in Missouri, similar type of setup, lane split, and they had no trucks in the right lane. If you're not exiting, you just stay in that left lane. It's smoother, safer, easier, but Indiana doesn't want you doing it. But yeah, I take my license, I take my profession, my career, my job, what I do very seriously.
Queensgate 1171 says Indiana roads are terrible.
They are. I just said earlier on the live stream, I'm like, man, they ought to reduce Indiana to a territory and give Puerto Rico a shot at statehood or something. And they're trying to make Interstate 70 a toll road all the way across Indiana. That's ridiculous. So trucks use right lane, no trucks left lane up here. That's stupid. All right, speed limit's going to be dropping. I'll go ahead and coast down here. But yeah, I take what I do very seriously. I take the safety aspect of it very seriously. You know, I know drivers that have died in crashes. I know people that have been killed by trucks and crashes. And it's dangerous. 80,000 pounds fully loaded one of these weighs. Do you know the amount of kinetic energy at 65, 70, or 75 miles an hour one of these trucks has hitting a parked car? That's what happened in Columbus recently with, I don't know if he had a fake identity or it was illegal, fake CDL. He had all kinds of safety stuff in the database, safety database with the feds. But he plowed into stop traffic in a construction zone going about 70 miles an hour, hit 9 cars. And there was a family, a husband, wife, and a 1-year-old child that were killed in that crash. That was Sunbury, Ohio, a few months ago. 3, 4 months ago, 5 months ago, something like that. And yeah, it's horrible. I was actually at the beginning of my driving career out in, I was in Joplin, Missouri, and I was in Joplin, Missouri at the time, and there was an accident 20 miles down the road. I think it was Miami, Oklahoma, and a 75-year-old driver plowed into stop traffic at 75 miles an hour. I think he hit 12 or 13 vehicles. I can't remember how many people perished in that accident, but it was I want to say like 11 or 12 people died in that accident alone. And the old man didn't do anything wrong. I mean, he was completely legal. He was at the end of his work shift on his way back to his yard and was just, you know, probably tired and just didn't catch it. Didn't get into an accident. You know, put your 4-way until there's, you know, a good 10 vehicles already behind you. You know, 4-ways definitely get a truck driver's attention, should get everyone's attention. Now, the brake lights should be enough alone, but, you know, if sometimes it gets missed and you don't want to get hit by a semi-truck if you're completely stopped. You're going full speed, whether he's empty, loaded, or what. The rest of your life, if you live, will not be the same. So put your 4-ways on. Queensgate, are you at work right now?
Yeah, we must have American citizenship. They can read the sign. Everybody gets
Queensgate 1171 says, no, I don't, not in my Ford Fiesta.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I thought you worked the night shift, if I remember right. How are your drivers doing? So I'm not completely sure where Interstate 70 was washed out at on the other side of the highway. But in this section between now and the Ohio line, it was, you know, completely shut down going that direction. About a week and a half.
71 says, got home this morning. Driver's all right.
Cool. All right, got about 19 miles to the Ohio state line here. Gonna ride with you guys across the state line. I'm gonna hit the rest area right in Ohio there. My battery's gonna be pretty much toast by that point. Should be back on tomorrow morning. Not sure what time yet. I'll be on my way heading to South Carolina tomorrow, so should be able to come on for a good couple hours. Hope to come on a little earlier tomorrow than I have been so far this week. Like to be on by 6 or 7 in the morning, but
Queensgate 1171 says, I'm getting another person to help me on shift. It is illegal for me to be in there by myself.
cool. Well, that's good news. That means you guys must be staying pretty steady, pretty busy then. I got some friends up in Michigan who are like lost a lot of hours recently. Freight slow, and there's a car out in a flooded field there. We're going to be going through some flooded areas here too, so I haven't been through here in a while, so I'm curious to see how bad the flooding and devastation is out this way. You can see some water off to the right there a little bit, maybe. I don't know how visible that is on the...
Queens Gate 1171 says not really about same.
Yeah, at least it's not tapering off then, hopefully. Yeah, some of my friends up in Michigan, they're getting about 10 to 15 hours. They're like local drivers, go home everyday drivers, and they're getting about 10 to 15 hours less a week than they were just a month and a half, 2 months ago. So, usually companies are gearing up for the holidays right about now for the holiday peak, and I just got another job, and I'm just not seeing a lot of activity out there for people hiring drivers, and the rates they're paying are pretty horrible. I mean, I got pretty lucky with the gig I got, but over the road market's just been devastatingly horrible for the last 4 or 5 years. So it's starting to come out of it, but I think the increase in gas prices and inflation and all that's really having an effect on people, and hopefully we don't fall off into a recession or something. But I'm seeing a lot of bad signs out here for that, so.
Queens Gate 1171 says I'm gonna have to get off here. I'm at 10% on my phone.
Gotcha. Well, hey, thanks for jumping on. We'll chat at you soon sometime. Maybe tomorrow when I'm on here. So, but I'm happy to be back. Happy to get some of my regulars back on here too. So, I missed you guys.
Queens Gate 1171 says I will see ya later.
Oh. Well, this section of road is some new asphalt, so that's a pretty good sign. I think the last time I rode across here, we were driving on the other side and they were working on this side, so they've definitely made some progress out here. I think the construction here is supposed to go on this section, this 26-mile section, probably for at least another 2 years or so, 2 to 3 years. I think 2029 is when they want to have it wrapped up, so they can toll it and they can start charging people to go across this section. That's interesting. The only time they became interested in fixing any of this roadway out here was when they wanted to start making it a toll road. They didn't give a shit about it the last 30 years. So. All right, got about 14 miles to the Ohio state line. Currently heading Interstate 70 eastbound right now in the big 26, 27-mile construction zone here. Got some nice, smooth asphalt to run on right now, though, so definitely thrilled about that. This was a rough section coming through here. Gonna wrap this live stream up in the rest area, about 2 miles in or so into the Ohio here. So if you're just joining in, please make sure you hit that subscribe button. I do come on here 3 to 4 times a at least 3 to 4 times during the week, if not more, if I can. I do post a lot of other short videos, long videos as interesting stuff happens. Should be back on tomorrow morning, not entirely certain what time yet. I want to try to do it earlier if I can, so hopefully by 7 or 8 I'll be on here. Sooner if I can. A lot of variables involved in that. That's why it's best, if you want to check it out, hit the subscribe button. You'll be able to see when I'm live. A lot of times I can't give much heads up or notice when I'm going to be jumping on. I just kind of jump on and do it. Hopefully I'll be able to get better with that as time goes on, but a lot of things need to, a lot of ducks need to be in a row for me to be able to come on here and do this, so. Well, it's been a pretty decent ride across this construction zone so far. I'm wondering if there's just a lot less traffic now because of this construction. Because, I mean, it used to be a miserable nightmare driving through here when it wasn't under construction. So, I mean, the road was choppy and horrible, but there was a lot more traffic and 2 lanes just getting jumbled up. So, but the past several times, and it's been a while since I've been across here, it hasn't really been that bad. So, all right, we're going to join up with the left lane for a few miles here. Now, the last time, which was a month and a half ago, I come across here, it had split again in a couple miles here, but not sure if it's going to do that. They reconfigure these construction zones all the time. Ooh, I'm going a little bit quick right here. I don't know if that's a speeding ticket truck or not. Does not look like it. They do photo enforcement in Indiana construction zones. All right, we got a cop on the right up here. I'm going to get left now. Oh, I guess. All right, so we're done with the good asphalt. This is the regular crappy asphalt that's been here for years. Got some legendary videos online going across this stretch. So I've even got one I did myself. I might repost that sometime soon. All right. So I once got a seatbelt ticket in Indiana while I had my seatbelt on. This was, I think, back in 2013, 2014. Speeding or seatbelt tickets are pretty big deals. There's a lot of companies that will terminate you upon receiving a seatbelt ticket. I wear my seatbelt 100% of the time, whether I'm in a semi-truck, an automobile, doesn't matter. I don't have airbags. Some semi-trucks do have airbags now. I do not. So, I mean, the seatbelt's really the only thing that's going to save me. And it's important in a semi-truck to wear a seatbelt, too, because if I'm in an accident, if I get knocked out, there's no chance of recovering that truck. So it's important to wear the seatbelt so you can maintain control and try to recover the vehicle in the event of an accident, regardless. So, but this guy wrote me a seatbelt ticket. I was 100%. I mean, there's no way I'm going to sign or send in and plead guilty to something I didn't do. There's probably 50 things a day that you can pick on me and write me a ticket for that I'm guilty of. Don't write me for something I didn't do. So I was going to get an attorney, but the attorneys are basically saying if you're, it's a civil fine, civil penalty, not criminal. So it's a much lower threshold of being found guilty. It's not if you're guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. Oh my gosh. It's if it's likely you're guilty. In most cases, you'll be found guilty. So in Indiana, their polygraph examiners are state licensed. So instead of hiring an attorney, I hired a polygraph examiner and took a lie detector test. So I went to court. I had to travel to go do this. Took a week off of work. I mean, between the polygraph, the hotel stay, travel expenses, all that good stuff. I mean, it cost me a few $1,000s just to fight a seatbelt ticket, which you get a higher amount of CSA points for a seatbelt ticket than you do any other violation. So back in them days, you could not get those CSA points taken off unless you were found not guilty in front of a judge. You could, if it got dismissed, you still got penalized with those CSA points. There was no due process for anything like that, and I was going to make a big deal out of it, and you know, so I show up to court. You know, I go do the polygraph, pass it with flying colors. $500, I think I paid for that back then. So I show up to court on my court date. There's only 3 people there. And pretty much, I don't think there was even a judge there. I was supposed to have my trial that day. And so the first guy goes in, he comes out, and he said, well, they just reduced it to littering, so I pled out on that, which I can't do. I still get the CSA points, you know, if I do something like that. Plus, I'm not guilty. So I got my polygraph, go in, and the woman prosecutor lady's like, well, I'm just going to go ahead and dismiss this. And I said, no. I said, I don't. I said, I came here for a trial. You summons me. I want my trial. And she's like, well, it's up to me whether you get one or not. And she's like, you're not getting one. And I said, so let me get this straight. You wrote me a ticket for something I didn't do. I was like, there's not even a judge here, is there? You're just going to drop the stuff or reduce it. You know, so you summons me for a trial that has a 0% chance of taking place. You know, you're like the World War II Gestapo here. You know, I said, if you dismiss this, I still get penalized with points. I said, are you going to write the DOT and the FMCSA a letter? And she's like, no. And I was like, well, now I got to sue you too. I got to sue you, sue the state, sue the county, sue the feds. So I eventually signed the paperwork to dismiss it because the, you know, it was getting a little loud in there, and the guys in the suits with the guns and badges were hanging around. So instead of creating a bigger issue for myself, so I did have a Superman shirt on underneath my dress clothes. Because after my trial and I got found not guilty, I was going to swing the court doors open, rip my shirt open to reveal the S, get a picture of that with the judge in the background looking up like, what the fuck's going on? So, did not get the judge in the background, but that was, where was that? I think that was Marshall County in Indiana, I think. Plymouth, Indiana. All right, get this construction vehicle in front of me now, going 35 miles an hour. Hopefully he gets off the exit up here. About 6 miles to the state line. Yeehaw! All right, this guy is going to get off up here. Ooh, somebody hit that construction sign with their mirror. Well, this guy's got to be super heavy if he doesn't want to go faster than 35 miles an hour here. All right, let's increase some speed here. So we're going to have a scale house literally immediately right past the state line in Ohio here. So these lanes are probably going to join back up. It's going to say trucks use left lane. But you don't want to be in that left lane when you cross the line. If that scale house is open and you don't get the bypass, you're going to miss it. You don't want to do that. I'm going to wrap this live stream up probably in about 10 minutes or so. Definitely want to thank everyone for joining in. Thanks for all your comments and questions. Definitely love chatting with you guys while I'm driving down the highway, sharing what I do. If you haven't already, please make sure you hit that subscribe button.
Rick Norman E5N says, hi John.
Hey, Rick, welcome to the live stream, man. Got a lot of progress made on this construction through this 26, 27 mile construction zone here. Probably good to have the smoother asphalt before winter kicks in for sure. Looks like they just switched stuff over. I haven't been across here in about a month and a half, so this section is going to be probably pretty rough right here. About 4 miles to the state line, give or take. Oh. Ooh, getting close to the Ohio state line here. Gotta make a delivery just outside of Dayton, Ohio. I'll be back on here tomorrow morning-ish sometime. I'll be on my way to see trucks use left lane. I'm not going to do that because I got this scale house in about 2 miles. Not going to get trapped over there. Not sure what time I'll be on. Hopefully a little earlier than I was today. But make sure you hit that subscribe button. You'll be able to get an alert or whatever when I do. So the state line is pretty much right past this exit here, so 1 mile ahead. Not sure if the scale house is open here. They do have pre-pass and stuff like that on it. Now, that sound you heard is saying way station 2 miles. That's what the alert was for. Hopefully it's closed. If not, hopefully I'll get the green light. Right down to the final stretch of Indiana here. Hey, that's the bypass sound. So if it's open, I do not have to stop. Man, that's a huge relief. There's no bypass in the scale house area once you get pulled off. If you're getting pulled off, you're crossing that scale. It's a smaller way station than you usually see around nowadays.
5 yards.
It's funny that it announces how many yards away I am from it. All right, I can't quite see the sign yet. It is closed anyway, so yay. Love Ohio. Ohio's great. I live in Ohio, by the way. I might not be very objective on that. All right, we're going to be in a 70-mile-an-hour speed limit here. And the signal, dang it. We're going to hit this rest area up here. That's where I'm going to wrap this live stream up at. Once again, thanks everyone for joining in. Thanks for watching. Thanks for all your comments and everything. Please make sure you hit that subscribe button. I should be back on here hopefully a little earlier tomorrow. So, right. But love coming on here, hanging out with you guys. So, my battery is almost dead. If I don't get this ended and on a charger, I won't be able to set it to public after it. So, I do make sure they get processed. It takes several hours for the whole live stream to get processed. So, 3/4 of a mile. Uh-oh, hopefully it's not closed. Oh, it's closed. Are you kidding me? Oh no, the shoulder's closed. All right. Thank goodness. That is my speed alert going. It still thinks it's 55 miles an hour right now. It is not 55 miles an hour. Well, there's a piece of a tire laying right there in the exit lane. Uh-oh, we got the DOT in here off to the right. I'm kind of hoping I wouldn't have stopped, wishing I wouldn't have stopped here now. Let's go up on the other side of that Amazon truck to the left there.
I-70 East.
See if I can hide over here. A lot of times I work these rest areas and just start coming up to you if you're in the driver's seat and you just won yourself an inspection. So I prefer not to deal with that today. So, all right, everyone, that's going to do it for me today. Please don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Thanks for joining in. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.